The bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima had a yield of just 15 kilotons of TNT, whereas today's nuclear warheads range in size from 100 kilotons to over 1 megaton. A single nuclear weapon today could kill millions in just minutes. Just one of these nuclear bombs would vaporize everything at its core: people, buildings, life itself. The shockwave would crush structures miles away, killing and maiming countless people. And then comes the fallout. Radioactive poison spreading through the air, water, and soil, condemning survivors to agonizing deaths or lifelong suffering. A nuclear winter could follow, with smoke and ash completely blocking the sun, plunging the world into darkness and cold, killing crops and starving billions. Acid rain would scar the earth, wiping out entire ecosystems. This isn't some made-up science fiction story. This is the reality of what's at stake, what we are facing now. Because as we stand here today, closer to the brink of nuclear annihilation than ever before, political elite and warmongers are carelessly fomenting fear and tensions between nuclear powers. And perhaps it's because they are confident that they will have access to nuclear shelters for themselves and for their families that regular people.
Shalom, shalom, Yasharallah. Call Halayam La, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone, and teaching well, peace and salutations be to the Lord elect. I'm Brother Tazawam, coming at you from the prophets in Babylon camp here in Tampa, Florida. This is going to be a quick in transit, and I'm gonna title it this isn't science fiction. All right, this is the reality of what's at stake. Okay, which is what this lady said in this video describing the power of a nuclear missile. Okay, she's saying that she believes that this talk of nuclear war is being handled too lightly. It's being tossed. The word nuclear is being tossed around too lightly without consideration of the repercussions of what's to happen and what's to come from a nuclear missile. Okay, which is woman, and these people are terrified, but they don't really understand the full gravity, because these people don't really understand the gravitation, the full gravitation, and the power. They don't have a full understanding of these nuclear missiles. Okay, like the scripture says, this is an army that has never been in the earth before and never will be after. Okay, these soldiers will be only used once in the history and in the future of earth. Okay, and that's the time that we're approaching. You think these nuclear missiles were created for nothing? No, these nuclear missiles were created to end this age. The scriptures say the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and quite frankly, that day of doom is going to be what they call doomsday. It's going to end by nuclear missiles. Okay, these nuclear missiles have the power to end a kingdom, to end a rulership, to end the age, man. All right, and these nuclear missiles will be used to end this age. Otherwise, this eon. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 23. Behold, the whirlwind of the Lord goeth forth with fury. A continuing whirlwind, it shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked. So the reality is, most of these people in this world is going to have to face those nuclear missiles, those ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, nuclear powers. Okay, and they're gonna fall on their head with pain, man. These things gonna hurt. Okay, the fierce anger of the Lord Yahawah shall not return until he have done it, until he have performed the intents of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it. So, hey, you gonna consider these scriptures and these things and a warning of the Lord, because people act like there was never a warning of these things. Okay, people act like that the scriptures never talked about the end of this time coming. Okay, but in the times we're in now, they're starting to consider it. All right, especially when things get rougher than they are now. Okay, you got people over there in Iran and Israel considering it. All these missiles flying around their houses, around their apartments, knocking down their buildings and crushing them under the rubble. Okay, of course they're considering a higher power at this point. They want to know what they can do to be protected from these things. Okay, now everybody's trying to figure out, trying to know what's going on. That leads me to say that that persecution, the demonization of the prophets is up next. All right, because times ain't looking too good. The times are looking bleak and gloomy. Okay, this is the book of in the book of Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. Okay, so every war is usually hand-to-hand combat. But they ain't throwing hands no more. You got the saying, we don't do one-on-ones no more, and then it kind of went to we don't even fight no more. Niggas just shooting each other. Okay, which is now what war has turned into. There ain't no more scrapping, ain't no more hand-to-hand combat, no more spears and swords, literal spears and literal swords. Now the sword is a nuclear missile. Okay, it says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So this war, okay, to come, this fight to come, this battle is going to be with burning and with fuel of fire. Okay, so as you see, this whole war over there in Iran and Israel has been straight missiles. They showing off their baby missiles. They shooting off their little baby missiles right now. Now they're using hypersonic missiles. Okay, and they're using drones. So the war is deteriorating. It's getting worse and worse until somebody's going to have to resort into that superpower nuke. Okay, which I believe they probably try to halt that war or come to a deal or a halt, because there's still prophecies that must come to pass before things get that severe, before things get that bleak. There's still a few prophecies we must meet, okay? Such as demonization of the prophets, famine of the hearing the words of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, pestilence, severe pestilence, severe famine of food and water, okay? The mark of the beast, MOTB. So yeah, you got a few prophecies that still must unfold, man, right? But here it is. These guys are arguing and bickering with each other, fighting with each other over there in the east. While these superpower countries are telling them to chill out, just chill, because it's drawing them into the war. It's going to get to a point where they're going to be forced to attack. All right, and once that happens, everybody's sending off them nukes. There's no going back. When one nuclear missile is shot off, there's no going back. Everybody has to shoot their nuclear missiles off. Okay, so as the scriptures say in Matthew chapter 24, you're going to hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for the end is not by and by. Okay, the end isn't yet, man. The end ain't going to follow immediately after. So you still got a few things that we got to go through. So we got Jacob's trouble, that severe tribulation that's going to come upon Jacob. Okay, where Jake's going to be demonized for real, and amongst Jake the prophets. So though these things are sounding like it's getting out of hand and out of control, the Lord has a play in all these things. He has his hand in it. Okay, I believe we brought it out earlier in my previous lesson, but there's chariots over there that's disarming missiles that are in the air. Okay, there's certain people ain't supposed to be killed yet. Certain things ain't supposed to be hit yet. All right, certain missiles ain't supposed to hit certain spots yet. Okay, so a lot of things are being reserved. Okay. Let's grab this. Joel chapter 2 and verse 3. A fire devoureth before them, speaking of those nuclear missiles, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. So the land looks perfectly fine, right? None hasn't been touched, right? It says, and behind them a desolate wilderness. But once those missiles run through it, it's going to be a desolate wilderness. All right. It says, yeah, and nothing shall escape them. So what's going to escape these missiles, man? Scripture just told you nothing's going to escape them. They got bunker busters. All right. which if you never heard of a bunker buster, they got those in Call of Duty, a video game, where if you try to hide in a bunker, they pull out these bunker buster missiles, which is like the size of a semi truck, and that shit digs through the ground and explodes on the bunker, breaks open the bunker. Okay, it says, yeah, nothing shall escape them. You ain't gonna be able to escape these missiles, man. Once they once you see them, you already in the spirit world. Okay, it's not like you don't have time to pack your bags and get up and go. These are hypersonic missiles. These things are super fast. You don't have time to escape. That's the whole point. You cannot escape. It says the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Okay, as horsemen so shall they run. Shit, I was in one of the cities over here in Florida, in Orlando, the other day, and it takes 35 minutes just to get from one end to the other of that city alone. Okay, and you trying to escape the city, all right, these missiles will be here in 20 minutes. Maybe less. Okay, it says the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. They're gonna run like horsemen. Okay, if you ever see those medieval movies where they line up for battle to go against another country, all right, and they all lined up, they covering the horizon, they fill up the horizon with their ranks, with their numbers, all right, they're all sitting on horses, and they're like, you know, all tightly packed together. That's how these nuclear missiles are gonna be. They're gonna be running in order. They got smart missiles and shit, man. Alright, so like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. Everybody's just gonna sit there and just gonna look up. That's all they can do. Okay? While everybody looking up, the Lord gonna make his glorious appearance. Alright, and then you gonna know you fucked up. Alright. But with that, I truly hope this lesson aided. She touched on the fact that the bomb that blew up Hiroshima and Nagasaki was about 15 kilotons of TNT. But these nuclear missiles, they go up to 100 kilotons, and even reaching over a megaton. 100 to a megaton, okay? And he said over a megaton, and that's very disastrous. Okay, let's look it up. All right, so how many kilotons of TNT is in 1 megaton? It says 1,000 kilotons is in 1 megaton. Okay, so you got 100,000, or you got 100 kilotons, right, times 10, you get a megaton. Right, and that's the kind of power that these devils have sharpened their sword to. This should be very concerning for you wicked, okay? Because this was created for you. Knowing that the Lord created this for the wicked is very terrifying. Okay, that's why it's a blessing, and it's very comforting to know that we got this truth in the Lord's name, and we got mercy, you know, Lord willing. Okay, as long as we endure into the end, we know that we're going to be good, man, because, sheesh, if you just read about or look up or research about the devastation that Hiroshima and Nagasaki suffered from 15 kilotons, how much more that times, 100. Okay, 100 times more powerful than that. These people are in trouble, man. Alright, and these people are in trouble. So with that, I truly hope this lesson was edifying to you. I cannot go out for listening, truth, and sincerity. So next time, I give all glory, honor, praises unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Shalom.